Dennis Horton, he's the director of the Rockford Regional Office of the Better Business Bureau. Dennis, good morning.
Good morning, Riley.
How's everything going this morning?
Very good indeed.
I always look forward to this segment because I know somebody out there is going to be alerted and potentially save themselves some bucks, save themselves some problems, and maybe pass that information along, which is what the Better Business Bureau is all about. Saving you time, saving you money, and saving you the pounding your head against the desk wondering how this happened to me.
Yes, and this time, Riley, I have some really good news.
Oh, good.
And it's about the IRS scam.
Oh.
In fact, I got a message from a friend on Facebook who asked me, what are they doing about this, Dennis? And I was so happy to be able to tell her that the U.S. Department of Justice, working with an international group, have arrested and imprisoned 24 individuals. Outstanding, and it is really close to home. 8 of the individuals who have been charged and now have been sentenced were right down the street in Chicago.
Really?
8 of them.
8 of them. What kind of sentences are we talking about here?
10 to 20 years.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. The Chicago group were known as runners, and what they would do is when the victims would send in the cash, they would convert that to debit cards or money orders and then pass that along, keeping a portion of the money themselves, to the tune of about $9.5 million.
Wow. Wow. See, I'd always wondered about what kind of dough they were getting from people. How many people were falling for this scam? And for people who aren't aware of it, it's been really insidious on the phones. I mean, I get them here at work. I get them in a home on our home number. I get them on my cell number. I'm sure you do as well, saying, you're in arrears. A warrant has been issued for your arrest. You need to call us right now and get this straightened out. And they really go for the full scare tactic on it.
Exactly, and being that this is an international crime, well, that's why the dollar figure is so high. But 22 of those crooks have been ordered to make restitution to the tune of about $9 million. So there are some people who will get at least a portion of their money back.
Outstanding.
And the other good news is that 32 others in India have been indicted, but not yet arraigned. So we're looking at even more prison time for some other individuals.
It must have been very difficult, especially when you're talking about crossing international borders and all that, to run these people down. So kudos to whoever did the legwork on bringing these people to justice.
It is. It's really an amazing and a difficult task for them to track them down and then to arrest them, charge them, go to court, and then get them convicted.
Yeah, actually win. I mean, have it all line up the way you would hope that it would line up.
Exactly.
So be on the lookout for those calls, and remember, don't give them any information. Don't call them back and give them a credit card number or I went out and bought a Visa card to cover all these things. It is a full scam, as these prison sentences might indicate.
Exactly. And you're right. The best thing to do is if you get that call and it's left as a voicemail, do not return that voicemail. And if you should happen to answer the phone and talk to someone, hang up.
Yep.
That's the best thing to do.
Just end it. They are not. That's not the way the IRS will get in touch with you. They will not send a third party after you with a threatening voicemail on your phone.
Exactly.
The other thing that you'd put on the note here about this morning, and we touched on this briefly yesterday. This is an interesting thing, and I got to believe it's probably very, very profitable. The adultery blackmail thing that's happening.
I have been, as you know, working with the BBB now for 17 years.
Right.
And I hear a lot of stuff, but this is the first time that I heard this. And it was, I got the information from Stephen Baker, who is our BBB international investigator. And he sent an email to me saying, have you heard about the adultery blackmail? Well, fortunately, I hadn't. And it is not an issue here in our area at this time, but it is happening in Jacksonville, Florida. And a CBS affiliate TV station down there reported that the scammers are sending letters to their victims, telling them that they know the secret, and that if you don't fork over cash, we're going to let your wife and your family and the community and everyone else know that you are an adulterer.
Well, that's probably an attention getter for those who might be adulterers out there and getting that email. For others, it's like, oh, well, I think you might have the wrong address. But I got to believe for anybody who's got a skeleton or two in the closet, it gives them pause.
Even if you don't have a skeleton in there, you're going to have to try to explain this to your wife.
Right. There's that, too. I didn't do anything. These are scam artists.
Right. And now it's up to you to prove it. For those who, as you say, may have a skeleton in their closet, they may be paying up. I don't have figures on that. The FBI says this is a new version of similar scams that have been going on, and that they have reports of it happening not only just in Jacksonville, Florida, but at other places around the country. So far, we've had no reports of that.
I've heard of that one, and then I've heard of the other one that is similar to that one that I just actually read something on it over the weekend where you'll get an email from someone who will say, and they'll address you by name, and they will somehow know a password that at one time was connected with the account you're using. It may not be the current password, it may be, but somehow they've got a password. And they let you know that they know that you've been online, and they know you've been dealing with pornographic sites, and they've caught you viewing pornographic sites on your own webcam. They've captured the video, and they're going to send it to everybody on your contact list if you don't pay up.
Wow. See, I learn something every day.
Yeah, that one got me. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Really? You've been watching people on their webcam? Well, it turns out the ones who have not been caught up in this are the ones who look down and go, I don't have a webcam. Oh, okay, but how'd you get that password number? And then for the people who do have a webcam and actually maybe had been indulging in some of that, then it really becomes a frightening thought that all of this is going to then be fired off to everyone on my contact list.
Yes, you imagine the panic, and then that's why it works. It's the panic that sets in immediately, and I'm going to the best thing for me to do is act quickly and pay up.
Yeah, because I don't want people to know about this. So if I call attention to it, then I'm on the hot seat because I'm going to have to admit a couple of things I don't want to admit. It might just be easier to pay them, only it's not.
It's not. And if you do pay, you can rest assured they'll be back.
Oh, yeah, because we found out this guy's alive when he has money and he's willing to spend it to keep his secret quiet.
Yes.
I never thought about that. All right, what about the Social Security scams?
We've been getting calls in the office for the last about week and a half that residents here in Rockford are getting calls from people saying that they are from the Social Security Administration and that there is fraud connected to their Social Security number, and that they need to act right now to provide their Social Security number to the caller so that they can fix the problem for them. Obviously, you can see where this is going to be a huge issue with someone calling, and then you turn over your Social Security number to someone who you don't know, and then they begin to use that number for all sorts of illegal activity.
Oh, man, what a jackpot to find yourself in there. And once again, and for people who are noticing the common thread that runs through all of these things is the urgency. You need to move on this now. You don't have time to think this over. You don't have time to call the Better Business Bureau. You need to move on this now. Exactly.
And the one thing that we always say you need to do is to stop, think. If there is an issue, that issue will be there tomorrow just as well. So you need to follow up with an authority that you trust. Call the Social Security Administration. Call us here at the BBB. We will set the record straight for you.
That's got to be a frightening circumstance, especially, they seemingly have this radar where they know who to prey on as well. Someone who is, waiting for that check each month in order to provide the means with which they can live. And now there's going to be a hiccup, and now we're going to need money, or you're going to lose that stream of income.
And they are simply very lucky, and I don't really, when I think about it, it really isn't luck. The people who become victims of this scam are senior citizens who also happen to be at home during the day and who also may have a landline and answer the phone. And when, as you point out, this is what they're living on. And if you tell them that there is a problem with your Social Security number account, and that may impact your receiving your benefits for the month or in the future, you're going to do something about it. Unfortunately, what you're going to do is put yourself in greater harm's way.
Yeah, you think you're going to get yourself out from under something when actually you're pulling an even bigger rock over the top of yourself, and they're walking off with your money. So,
exactly.
Yeah, boy, how insidious is that? And, like we said, they seemingly have the demographics of their target nailed down. They know who they're going after.
The senior citizens are home, as I mentioned. They're home during the day, and that's why they seem to become the victims more frequently.
Yeah, it's who's ever there to grab the phone.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, and we want to touch on this as well. The Rockford Regional Torch Award nominations are open. Give us a little background on that.
Well, the Torch Awards, we did our first Torch Awards here in Rockford earlier this year, just to get us into the cycle.
Okay.
So what we're doing now is the 2018 Torch Awards, which is an award that is given to businesses who do things right, who treat their employees right, who treat their vendors right, who treat their customers right, who live by excellent business practices. And we think that those businesses here in our community need to be recognized and touted for what they do to help keep the marketplace fair and equitable for everyone. And nominations are now open, and you can be nominated as a business. You can self-nominate. An employee can nominate you. A customer can nominate you. And hopefully you'll enter go through the nomination process or the entry form process and get your name on the list to be judged as one of our city's better businesses.
That's outstanding because, yeah, I think, like you say, it benefits everybody. It benefits the company that's doing things right by having the spotlight shined on them, but it also benefits all of us who go out and do some shopping, gives us a great idea of where to go to be treated right and know that if something goes wrong, these folks are there to stand behind it and take care of you.
Yes, we hear so much about the bad businesses in our community, but 90% of them are all really good, hard-working business owners out to do the right thing, and we think they ought to be recognized for that.
Absolutely. Now, for people who want to nominate somebody and all that, what's the best way of going about it?
It's a really easy process. You can go to BBB.org and pick your city, Chicago, and click on the link Torch Awards. There are two links there, Rockford and Chicago. Click on the Rockford link, and the process is spelled out there, and it's really a very simple process to nominate someone. The guidelines for entry are also listed there. For the Rockford Torch Awards, there is also one in Chicago, but for the Rockford Torch Awards, you must be in Winnebago, Boone, Stevenson, Ogle, or DeKalb counties.
All right. Well, please, by all means, everybody knows a business out there that they're very, very fond of, and probably a few that you're not. But let's talk about the ones you are fond of and get those nominations in so they can get the recognition they deserve, and the rest of us will know good places to go and shop.
Excellent.
Dennis, as always, a wealth of information. Love to hear that the scammers are going to jail. Be on the lookout for the other scams, and if you become aware of anything, get in touch with the Better Business Bureau. They can help you through so many of these things.